with a new vision, with new thoughts.
Right. What do you
Then
think about this?
different situations, even if you, let's say, I'll give you a everyday example. Like I read an email from somebody and it creates certain emotions in me because of the way my mindset is at that moment, and then I don't respond. I read the same email next day and it just sounds totally different, even though it's the same email. So it's basically everything that what's going on is just related to our inner state.
Right. But did you understand our concept, the formula, the existence and existence simultaneously?
I am not sure. I have some thoughts about that, but I'm not sure. So, and since we couldn't talk during the week, I will probably be more of a listener today than a participator, just to make sure I'm going along with the concept instead of coming up with my own ideas.
Okay, great. Sounds fair enough. Hi, Magdalena.
Hi everyone, hello.
Um,
Hi.
Hi.
we are waiting to more few people. Um, Francine, she's driving and she's listening to us through the telephone, so she's like unbelievable. She wants to hear what we have to say, and so that's great. But we need you, Francine, to be with us and participate. But we understand the situation.
She says, I don't know if you were hearing, but she said thank you. It's a little hard for the volume on my phone isn't very loud.
Okay. We are lucky we have Monday too. And next week. And whatever you want. It's not. So I think Geneviève says she's going to join to us, but and I'm in touch with her during the week, so and even now, so I don't know why she didn't. But we can start, and also Shenya, she said, so I don't know, and Pascal also. So maybe they're going to join with us later, okay?
Yeah,
We can start.
I was before checking, talking with Pascal. He has to work and he's hoping to just join, just to listen
Okay.
with one ear.
Okay, that's great. That's fair. Yeah. Okay. So mostly I'm here with David and Magdalena, and we're going to have fun. Yeah. So, David, do you remember what are we talking about? Let's refresh our memory, see what we are talking about here, what we're trying to achieve, how did we get to these things, this concept, why we are here. Let's try to refresh our memory together. Actually, David, Magdalena, let's try to refresh the memory. What are we doing here? Okay, so we are talking about probably from some theory from the Kabbalah, right? We said that the Kabbalah, it's like, what is it? It's information.
Understanding and accepting.
Receiving.
Right, but it's about information. It's receiving, it's accepting. We are talking about what is to receive, what is exist, but also it's an information, and the information they are talking about it's or Maaseh Merkava or Maaseh Bereshit. Okay, it's about.
You should say information because you know when I wrote to you during the week, and I thought of another example of existing and not existing simultaneously. In fact, it was one that I'm surprised I didn't think of earlier because I thought of it a lot previous years. Information or ideas are something that I think can be said to exist and not exist simultaneously. Because, you know, and it's easy to think of if we think of like fiction, right? Like, so, you know, a fictional world, like say, I don't know, you know, if you read a book about another planet or something, you know, people on another planet, right? That story, you know, those people, they exist and they don't exist simultaneously. They exist in your head, they exist in the story, they exist in the mind of the storyteller, but they don't exist, you know, as we know it in our universe. But then again, you know, there are some physicists who interpret quantum mechanics to believe to say that there are actually an infinite number of universes, and some people think that any universe that could have existed, that you could dream up, it actually exists somewhere. So in a way, you know, ideas or information are something that exists and doesn't exist simultaneously. So like an example of this is you know, a lot of the statements in mathematics, or, you know, for instance, 1, right? The number 1, or let's say the number 3, right? So everybody agrees that the number 3 exists, but where is it? Actually, a better example is probably like a circle, a perfect circle, right? So everybody agrees that there's such thing as a perfect circle, but you can't find a perfect circle anywhere in nature. It's just sort of an idealization. So, so I thought it was interesting that you just mentioned the Kabbalah as information, because that's one way that I was thinking of something existing and not existing simultaneously. And, you know, I mean, it does occur to me, I don't know if this is an Orthodox opinion or if it has any place in the Kabbalah, but, you know, I've definitely thought about, right, so if, you know, before God created the universe, he obviously had to have an idea of the universe, right? He had to have a blueprint of it somewhere in his head, right? And actually, I come to think of it, there are people who say that the blueprint was the Torah. The Torah was the blueprint for the universe, right? But that before he, you know, he gave the Torah to the Jewish people, that the Torah still existed. So it existed as an idea in the mind of God, I guess. So I don't know what you think about all that.
Wow, and this is all from your thinking about exist and not exist.
Yeah, well, it's related to that.
So I'm trying today to understand more deeply about what is that, what we are meaning, so we have more understanding about it. Okay, and but in general we say that there is Maaseh Merkava, Maaseh Bereshit, and then which means that one of them talking about how the world was created, and the other one talking about how it's more about the life, what is God. Okay, so that was the difference. And then we get somehow to the 10th third, and then we talk about the light, and then we get up to above the light to the Atzmuto. And then we get to the formula just saying about exist and not exist simultaneously. And today, you know, before I even start, maybe, hi Shannon, maybe we should hear some more story like David faces and stuff, think about it more deeply. But Shannon, maybe you want to share with us something happened to you?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I haven't had any like major breakthrough experiences, but I continue to have dreams, which is very unusual for me, almost every morning, not every morning, after doing this homework in the evening. And I haven't done it real long because I do generally fall asleep after a while. I've also been doing it when I think about it during the day, specifically when I was out for a walk, as you suggested. I found that helpful. So I've been having a little bit of trouble interpreting my dreams because they seemed kind of random, but I've realized now that there's a pattern in the dreams. And this last dream that I had water in it, which was very, very interesting. And I was standing, I realized that the water was coming to my feet, and I moved back. And so this seems to be a theme where there's either light or there's water or there's something hidden up above. Several times I've been taking things down from up above, or something has been hidden above in a ceiling or up on a shelf. So I definitely feel like the dreams are connected to this work, and that perhaps it's my own resistance at some level that's holding me back. I stepped back from the water, other things were hidden from me. So I'm not quite sure, but I definitely feel that there's a connection and that there's been movement. I just don't feel a huge breakthrough of any kind yet.
What you were expected to be, what did you expect it will happen to you?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying it's kind of intangible still. It's, you know, it's some dreams, and I do feel like there's.
But it's something you feel scared about it, or it's something you feel it's something you feel. How do you feel about it?
I think it's cool. I feel like there's activity, that there's some kind of movement that's expressing itself through dreams, and I would like to move that into an expression of at a more wakeful time.
Okay. So second day, you feel something positive. You see. Okay. Can you share with us exactly what do you do?
For the homework?
Yeah, what do you do as a homework? What do you do?
Okay, well, in the evening, I've just been kind of focusing, just trying to focus, like you said, on existence and non-existence at the same time. And I've done a few different things. I tried a little bit of visualization, but I didn't feel like that worked for me because I didn't know how to visualize it. So at times I've used exist, I exist, and I don't exist. There is existence, and yet there is no existence. I've tried a few different things. I liked a little more when I used the wording of yesh ve'ein. So I've used yesh ve'ein a little bit, and I've kind of just been kind of verbally in my mind, not necessarily out loud, although I've done it out loud also. Just tried to maintain these ideas, saying them in my mind. And then I've tried to, instead of saying them, to move more towards just a concept of some sort. And that's where it ran into kind of a little bit hard, because I can't conceptualize it, so I'm not quite sure where, but I'm just kind of throwing that idea out and being repetitious with it.
Right. That's what Rabbi Nachman is talking about. He says it's very hard to receive it, to get it. You read Hebrew, right?
I read Hebrew not excellently, but good enough.
He said that's the issue, which is about what we're trying to do. That's yesh ve'ain, exist and not exist simultaneously, or to understand what is it. He said that you cannot, EFSHAR, you see that?
Where is it?
Here, can you see the screen?
I see the screen, yes.
It says EFSHAR להבין ולהשיג.
Okay.
You cannot understand. It's impossible to understand, and of course not to receive it as something that you can even really probably see that. But when he said only when it's the time will come, that's the time will come. Okay, and we are saying we don't need to wait to the time. We can do it now.
Okay.
That's what we are saying. So that's what are you doing is great, and we will go to work on this even deeply, and to understand it more and more. Although he said that it's impossible to understand.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's impossible to understand in our minds, but I don't think that means that it's necessarily impossible to understand at some kind of deeper, different level.
Yeah, so that's what we are trying. So we are saying at least we can say it, right? It's a start. The world was created by saying, right? God said, right? Remember, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. Therefore, so it's a something we can say it. It's a something we can say because we say there is nothing we can say about Atzmuto.
Mm-hmm.
But this is we can say it exists and not exist simultaneously, although we know that we cannot understand. Because think about it, if you're looking at now at the computer, but how can you understand why does it not exist? And we're going to talk about it. But stay with us; it's going to be fun. But it's a great story. Hi, Pascal, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Hey, Berlin. So what's going on? Give us more.
I don't know. I can't tell you that that all days are the same. Like so, today I hadn't such a good day like the other days. So
it's great. That's why you are here. So it's good. I understand you couldn't make it, right?
yeah, right.
What happened? Yeah, how come you did it?
How I did it? How I what?
I'm happy you did it. You make it. Great.
I tried the same formula, but I want to say that it isn't always possible to feel like this. So maybe we have to learn something. And sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, we will see. We will do it together. So we will see what happens. We are trying to figure out together.
Okay.
What?
I don't know.
What? Talk to me.
Yeah, today was the same. Like I started the day with full of meetings and and I was once more too late. And I began with one, and the second was the same, and the third was the same, and it was like I couldn't stop it. So it doesn't work when I said does it exist or does it not exist, because it really existed. Yeah. So what can I do?
Right.
Yeah.
It exists. Yeah. You choose the you thought it not exist, so you didn't do anything.
No, I couldn't do, because all the time at the meetings the other people needed much more time for this. So it was the whole day was the same. So I'm a little bit unhappy about it, but it's okay.
Okay, so today we're going to try to understand together a little bit more deep what it means. And as I start, I don't know if you heard, but I start to say that also in the books they say it's impossible to understand. Okay, it's impossible. Think about it. You are now sitting in front of a computer. It exists, right? But the question, if you understand when something does not exist, it's an option, right?
Right. Yeah.
You can think about it. Now the computer does not exist, but can you think about it simultaneously at the same time? At the same time, now it's a place. They are in front of you. Can you, in the same time, understand what is that? Probably not.
No.
Exactly. Okay. So that's why we are people and not God. That's one of the things. But there are options probably to get to it somehow. So I'm saying at least if we can't, but we can say it, it's a something. If you say something, it's a something. Although I cannot really feel it or understand that or whatever, but I say it. I understand. I start to understand that. So when you start to understand something like this, and more people start to understand also, and there are more energy about it, and so maybe one of all the people are going to break it down, and then they're going to discover, or someone going to be with exist and not exist simultaneously, that we cannot do, probably, but you know, this is our brain, so our brain is not capable for now, so, but we can say it. Okay, so that's what we are doing. So we are trying to see what is that, okay? So it's not so clear. But I want to go with you in the opposite, I mean, meaning that with what is it not exist? To understand a little bit about the exist, or that's not a problem, they exist. But let's talk about the not exist. Can you tell me what do you think when you say not exist? Hi, Genevieve, sorry.
Hi.
Hi, Genevieve. Hey, how you doing? We skip on you. How was your week?
I'm good.
You have something to share with us? Would you like to?
Not right now. I was just listening.
Why? I was shy and I said I shared my things too.
Isha, I have a question.
Please.
How do we use this procedure, or whatever we're calling it, when sorry, I forgot, Pascal, you said earlier that you really felt the existence today. So I think it's true. There's times where we're immersed in that existence. So I have an example of this morning that was immersed in existence in a positive way, not in a negative way. So I have a concoction that I make in the morning with my water, and
You just cut out, Shana. We can't hear you.
I think I was talking with my hands and it hit the mouse and muted. So I have this concoction I put in my water in the morning with a bunch of good stuff in it, and then I add lemon juice. And I forgot to put the lemon juice in, and I started drinking, and it really didn't taste very good because I put turmeric and all sorts of pepper and stuff in it. And so then I added the lemon juice, and it was more than I would normally have because I had already drank part of it, and it tasted very good to me. And the thought was, oh wow, this is really good. And then I thought, okay, how do I do this with exist and not exist? So I said, this exists, I'm enjoying this existence, but it also doesn't exist. But maybe you could talk a little more about that. If we're immersed in existence, whether it be positive or negative, how do we hold that? It's a little harder to hold it when we're immersed in existence.
Well, you can realize that the lemon juice, the taste of the lemon juice, isn't really real. It's just an illusion created by your brain. It's an interpretation of what your taste buds are receiving. An alien from another planet wouldn't taste lemon juice the same way. So what is the essential taste of lemon juice? It doesn't really have an essential taste. I probably tasted it than you tasted. So, I mean, that's one way. You can just convince yourself that what you're perceiving really isn't that absolute.
Yeah, I'm not looking at it as absolute, but if you're immersed in an experience, I think it's harder than if you're just sitting in a meditative state.
Okay, we will see. We understand that it's not easy. So we will see what's going to happen with this. We will see.
So
David,
did I do it properly just by stating it? Just by saying it out loud?
We just started. We will see.
Okay.
It's a start. It's something to start with. It's a something to start with. So we are always trying to go higher and higher to understand what is that. On the other hand, we also we will develop other techniques. So we will see what if we can make it. So we will see. So as I said again, it's as I found it in Rabbi Nachman. But it also makes sense. It doesn't matter even about books or not books. It just makes sense because always we are in one of the options. And of course, I can give. There are many other way to explain how to get to this. So I'm just, don't want to get to too much details. But if you're going to ask the right question, so I can answer if I know something. But I'm saying to you, there is something about this, and I give it very clear from Nachman. Okay, so it's so people probably talking about it. Okay, we're trying also to understand what is that. Okay, so when I said when we are thinking about not exist, what do we mean in our hand? When it's an open question. What do we think about it when not exist? What is that? By the way, in Hebrew, if someone makes, because today I spoke about it with Jordan, and he preferred to say Ein. He couldn't. I don't know if. Oh, I didn't send him even the okay, never mind. Next time.
I know existing is either, you can think of not existing as being not here, or not corporeal, not physical.
Absence of anything.
But does non-existence exist?
So the dilemma is if what you're saying, it's like, let's assume it's like nothing, it's like something, it's nothing, right? It's the opposite of something, right? It's nothing actually, right? Nothing. Right? It's like if we can think about really, really nothing, what we say, Gornish Megornish. Anyhow, that said, so the question is how the Ein was created, they exist. Because we said the Yesh, it exists, came from not exist, from the Ein. David, tell me if I translate it right, but the Ein is not exist, right?
Right.
And the Yesh is exist, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they say the Yesh, this is which means all the existence, it came from the not exist. Okay?
I mean, usually I guess you translate Yesh as there is and Ein there is not, right?
Right, but what does it mean not? Every existence must have place and time, right?
Well, I guess it depends on your definition of existence.
No, it must have. My definition is it's what is the things that you need, the basic things. Otherwise, you are not exist. It's place of time. I mean, you must have a place.
As I was just saying, a perfect circle exists, but a perfect circle does not exist in space and time. But clearly, there is such a thing as a perfect circle.
Okay.
Because we can prove things about it. We can, we know that a perfect circle has a circumference of 2 pi r. We know that it has an area of pi r squared. We know lots of things about perfect circles.
Okay.
So obviously, but they do not exist in space and they do not exist in time. I can't find anywhere a perfect circle.
But you can think about it?
Sure.
Okay. So And that thought is not exist?
Pardon?
That thought that you are thinking about it is existence or not? The thought that you are thinking about the perfect.
That's a good question. That's a very good question.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't know the answer. I don't think anybody knows the answer to that question. We're still, the neuroscience hasn't really caught up with it. I mean, I guess you have to distinguish between the thought and then the idea that I'm having in my thoughts, right? So I guess the thought exists because my neurons are firing, and those are electrical signals, and you can measure that with like I don't know what you call it, a EEG or whatever. So the thought exists, but as far as the idea that I'm thinking of, I don't know if that exists or not. I think it's one of those things that exists and doesn't exist simultaneously.
No, I disagree. I think that the concept definitely exists. Remember,
where does it exist? Where does it exist?
Yeah, but they exist. We said also all the potential is also exist. Although they are potential and they are not even came to, because you cannot say the God doesn't have all the potential. He has everything, including the potential.
Sorry, can you repeat what you said about potential?
I mean, I'm saying existence it includes potentials, not the things that really exist. They are in potential.
Okay.
The core.
So you're saying that anything that could exist does exist? Is that what you're saying?
Right. Even if they're still not here, but it's going to be. For example, before was no internet. Right. Although there was no internet, it's a potential, it's going to be, so it exists, it's part of existence.
What about logically contradictory ideas? So what about the set of all sets that do not contain themselves, right? Or no, let me do a better one, right? So the barber that shaves everybody who all and only those people who do not shave themselves. This barber is a logical contradiction, because if he shaves you, then he doesn't shave you, and if he doesn't shave you, then he shaves you. So it's a logically contradictory idea, okay? So how can that, so that's something that will never exist in real life, okay? You can't have something that logically is inconsistent existing. So does that exist?
I don't know, what do you think?
I think that we're describing existence, not a thing that exists. Because if we work all of the angelic realms, all of the unseen things that we don't understand, that we don't know very much about, all those exist. If we think of existence as, our universe, capital U, that was born into existence with every potentiality that is included in that, for all time that can be, that's all existence. So I don't think we're talking about a particular thing that exists necessarily like a rock only, but everything and its potential in all of its different realms and all of its different manifestations.
Right, but a logical contradiction, an idea of something that seems on the surface to be potentially actualizable, like say a person who shaves everybody who don't shave themselves, that's not something that really can potentially exist, right? You're never going to find that in real life, never, no matter how many.
I'm not talking about real life. Angels aren't in real life either, and yet they exist. I think the difference between what I'm understanding and what you're understanding is we're not talking about something that exists, but an existence in general. That concept, that thought exists in your mind, so it exists. We can't think about anything that doesn't exist. That's the problem I'm having with the homework.
Well, I don't know. I read somewhere that if you want to meditate on nothing, you meditate on what's behind or what you see behind your head. So what do you see behind your head? Nothing, right?
Yeah, but we are talking about something different. We are trying to do exist and not exist in the same time. Same time and place.
Nothing. That's a very.
You meditate on what you see behind your head, and then you meditate on what you see in front of you at the same time.
Well, I don't know. I look at meditation from a Jewish perspective. I don't meditate on nothing.
I actually read that in a book by Arya Kaplan. He discusses a meditation on nothingness.
Yeah, but I don't say meditate on nothing. I'm saying meditate on both of them at the same time. It's different. It's called Shitat HaHafachim. It's a difference. We are not choosing one place.
Right, but why can't? So if you're meditating with your eyes open, you're looking at what's in front of you. Then at the same time, think about what's you see behind your head. Do that at the same time. I haven't tried it. I'm just making a suggestion.
You can have two thoughts at the same time.
Sure you can.
It's a different exercise to me. It's a different kind of exercise than we're doing here. I think that's the difference.
What's a different exercise?
The meditation on nothing. It's a different kind of exercise. We're not really meditating here. We're trying to hold two opposing concepts that our brain has trouble holding because one of them doesn't exist.
Right.
That can be a meditation. There's a lot of meditation is very broad, and it includes trying to do things like this.
Right, I'm telling you again and again. I will tell you. I'm not saying that's even not me saying. I'm going back to Nachman. He say it's impossible. וזה הצמצום של החלל הפנוי, אי אפשר, we cannot understand. Only in the future when it means when the Messiah will come. Because you must say the two opposite, they are exist and not exist. Okay? So that is all the issue about also the tzimtzum. It's all about the God. It's all about, this is the heart of the Kabbalah, if you want to say, or the talking about the God, or what is the light, or what is the missing, or what they are. That's the talk. So and I understand, and we understand that's impossible. But I'm saying, with all the respect, that's impossible. I'm saying we can still try it. So if it's impossible, at least we can say it. We can develop a way to try it to see what's going on. If this is the real, so what we are waiting for what? So we need to try to understand it and do as much as we can. So this is why we are here. Because we discussed about it. So of course we need to accept this formula, and all the question is rising from here. So I understand, David. If I understand you right, you skeptic, or you don't accept it, or the opposite. I didn't really get you straight.
What didn't you get straight?
If you don't accept these things, you don't. What is your feeling about it?
My feeling about it is, well, to be honest with you, I'm just not sure whether I'm not sure whether I'm on the same page as you. That's sort of why I wrote you over the week during the week. You know, I gave you some examples of some ways that I was thinking about existence and not existing, but I was saying I don't know if this is how you want us to be thinking about it. So I can think of a lot of different ways that things can exist and not exist at the same time, and I just don't know if that's really getting at the heart of Atzmaot. Because maybe it's a specific kind of existence and non-existence that is Atzmaot. So maybe that's a specific kind of that dichotomy. So I just didn't know. So I don't have a problem with doing the exercise. I'm just not sure if I'm doing it the right way or not. There are lots of different, because existing with respect to what, because like I said, I mean, there's existing in this room, there's existing in this country, there's existing on this earth, there's existing in this universe, there's existing in another universe. There's a lot of different ways that you can think of existing. And I just don't know which is the one that you have in mind.
I think all of it.
Right.
All of it.
General, all of it, or whatever you can think, even the potential.
anything that we can conceive of exists.
Well, but I just think existence means a lot of different things depending on the context, and I think that really, maybe it's helpful to be a little bit specific about, existing where, because I think really when it comes down to it, what existence really just means is, there is something, but then, where is this something, right? Because, most of the time, when people say that something exists, they probably mean it exists in the universe, probably. But like I said, scientists think that there might be a lot of different universes, and so if something exists in another universe, does that qualify as existing? I don't know. So.
I think that's why I found it easier sometimes when I used Yesh Me'ing, because that eliminates that English word where I think where you're getting tripped up to be, you're an intellectual, and you're taking that the word exists meaning more of a physical existence. And we're not talking about.
I would have the same problem with Yesh Me'ing because it means there is and there is not. There is where. There is not where.
No, but it doesn't mean there is and there is not in this sense, in the way that it's being used. I'll let Shah talk.
No, yeah, I mean, we need to hear from you. You have a lot of what to say and the right things. I have nothing better than what you have to say. Don't you think I have better things to say? I'm just, I'm telling you what I think and what I know about this. This is what it is. I'm trying to show you proof, but it doesn't matter. In the end, we are talking about our head, okay? Because always they said it doesn't matter what others said, okay? It just doesn't matter. What it's important is if we can understand what's going on here, okay? And if this is probably maybe because maybe we cannot do it, it's interesting. So I'm saying, and we hear, and we will see what's going to happen. We heard what happened to Pascal last time. We heard what's happened to Shana, but Pascal not so happy this week because he picked the side only to not exist. So he decided probably not to do anything. So it's not so easy to understand what is that. But we will try to deep more. So I was thinking to start with what is it not exist, to understand, even to feel it. We can feel it, right? When we are looking to something, we can say, here, now I can, or now look at the wall and think there is, I don't know, an elephant in front of you. It's not exist, right? So we can understand what is it, to the feeling of it, right? To understand what is it. It's now if the computer is not in front of you, not exist, or now it exists, right? But what we cannot do is to put them together at the same time. And that's why today I want to show you how they usually do it, and it's happening in our life. So, but remember always, we are doing the exist and not exist in our mind, because without the option of not to be able to distinguish between things and to understand these things is different from the others, right? So actually we don't have kind of exist, because we need to have two to start to have something different. So we will see what's going on here, because they are coming again, as we say, they are coming from the same source. So, and probably they are meaning that they are supposed to be together at the same time. Now we can see that also. Although it's what I'm saying, it's more. I will go from up and then I go down to more and more to our body even. But when we say God created the world, so when they say God, so there are two different options when they are talking. It's like it depends with who you talk to. So usually they said the world was created from nothing, from N, right? From Yesh Me'ain. Probably some of you hear that in Hebrew. Yesh Me'ain. From nothing was create something. So the creation is that was the big deal. That's the whatever you want to call it, the big bang, the whatever. That's the big deal. That's the creation. To create something from nothing to make it exist. But how does it happen? It doesn't happen just he creates something and that's it. No, also the N, the not exist, which we like call it the pure light, he's kind of inside of the exist. He give him the light. Without the light, there is no exist. That's why the N, the not exist, and the exist are together. You understand what I'm saying here?
Can you repeat that one more time, please?
Sure. They said, in the Kabbalah, they said the world was created from nothing. Yesh me'ain. From nothing, from not exist, the ain, okay, the God creates the exist. Okay. So now, the creation, what we are talking, when we said the word creation, that's the first time, like there is something, there is the first time. Before that, there was nothing, no exist. That's the pure light. The creation, let's call it, that's the miracle. Okay, before that, there was no exist. Let's call it miracle to understand. From the nothing was miracle, create something. That's the creation. But the not exist, the light of God is always exist, even in the existence. Think about this like glass of water, okay? Let's take glass of water. Let's put, if we take glass of water, now it's only a glass, right? Sorry, now glass, right? It's only a glass now. But if we put water inside, now it's a glass of water. Okay? Before that, it's only a glass. There is a glass. And now think about the water. It's like the light of God that there exists, not exist, the light of God. It's something that we don't know what is it, what we say it exists and not exist. Or we say it is what it is, the Atzmuto, right? Remember this Atzmuto? So we say it's all light. So think the water, it's like the Atzmuto, the light, and we get into the water, to the glass. So before that, we have only glass, but now we have glass with water. It's called the glass of water. It's a different. It's not a glass. It's a glass with water inside it. Okay, it's a different. So if you can think about it, it's also in every existence there is the not exist the light, the Atzmuto, in every existence, and easily we can see that in our soul, in our body as a soul. It's a higher level of light, of Atzmuto, so we have it. So what I'm trying to make the point, it's impossible to say that exists and not exists because we know the light of God is everywhere. Without the light of God, without Atzmuto, we don't have exist at all. So we know that, but we can't feel it. We can't see now the computer in front of us and not at the same time. It's or you are thinking it exists, or you are thinking it's not exist. What is it at the same time, at the same boom? We can. Or you see the computer or you don't. Right? You can take the computer, throw it from the window, and now you don't have a computer in front of you, right? That's what you can imagine, or yes or no. But together, that's impossible.
Right.
That's impossible. But we know it's an option. It's absolutely option. We know. Nothing, it's the opposite to something. Exist is opposite to exist. We know it's an option. Sometimes I have the computer, sometimes I don't have the computer in front of me. It's an option. It depends. Where am I? If I'm in front of the computer, I have a computer. If I'm not in front of the computer, I don't have a computer. For example, it's all options. How we going to do it, that's the talent. But of course, yes, we need to understand it's an option, and we're trying to do this option. That's what we're trying to do. So sometimes Pascal, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We don't know.
That's
it's
why
it
worked. Yeah, because it were two options, and one of this option I chose. This was good, but sometimes it doesn't work.
You think it's a casino. Sometimes you choose, sometimes you don't choose. But you need to understand also the chosen, it exists and not exist simultaneously. So if you understand there is chosen, there is also the other side, not to choose. Therefore, they are both together. They are coming from the same source. So what's the difference between them? There is no difference. So you're not even choosing. Can you understand? Can you think about to choose or not to choose at the same time? What do you do in this situation? Okay? So what I'm saying that, okay, we understand there's nothing we can do, but at least we can say that. You can say it exists and not exist, exists and not exist. Right?
Right.
You can say that. It's a something. It's better than to ignore, like to say I can't do it at all. It doesn't make sense for me. It's impossible. But also a baby said it's impossible, and then he did it. He said, no, I can walk, and then he walked. How come? He said, I remember I used to cry like a crazy as a baby. My uncle used to grab me as a baby and throw me to the pool to swim.
Oh.
So no, but you see, but you can do it. How come? You can say no, I cannot, but you can do it. Everything we can do. So the question is, these things they say we cannot do. So the question, if we want to, as we ask that we're trying to do this, that's our goal. That's our goal to trying to do it. I hope I answered to you, Diana.
Yes, it's getting clear and clear. Thank you. More clear.
Sure.
Yeah.
So everyone has more question about it? Magdalena, we don't hear you today.
I can't speak really.
Because Magdalena has, yes, do you want to share with us? Do you have something for us, something you thought about, does something help you, exist, not exist, did you try something?
Yeah, actually I would like to share because yesterday I had a presentation. It was a big one for me, and I had a lot of stress before it, just thinking, if I'm going to perform, if I'm going to forget what I want to say. And somehow God sent me Pascal.
Pascal
sent me a message, hey Magdalena, I really cannot wait until tomorrow class. And I said, that's great, me too, and what's going on. So I shared with him because, we share about our feelings. So I said, you know, actually I don't feel that great. I have this presentation and I have a stomach ache and I don't know how it's going to go. So Pascal, he tried to help me with this non-exist, but I tried that, and this was like so hard to put. I mean, like was telling myself, you know, doesn't matter. This exists, does not exist. Doesn't matter if I do well or if it's going to be totally bad. So, but somehow later at the end, he said, I was already on the way when he was messaging me, and he wrote something like, you know, just let it go, trust the Creator and His light, and He will guide you. And after I read that, I was like, you know what, this is really right, you know, why I worry from myself by myself if I don't have to, because I have someone who's watching over me. So even if there is a reason why I should not do well, there will be a reason for that. So I was like, okay, you know, let it go, let it just, you know, let it flow and see what happens. There was nothing else I could do in terms of the preparation. Just let it go and let the light come, and let just trust the Creator. You know, He will just lead me the way He wants.
But did you think about the, thank you, did you think about the exist and not exist?
Yes, I did. That was the first thing that I was doing the day before, and on Sunday, since I woke up, I was trying to tell myself that, you know, it's okay, but it was very hard to
understand that.
So maybe not to understand, but to put in action, to put it in action and like stick it to your head and like make it work there.
Right. Okay, I said it's not. Thank you, but you know. By the way, Pascal is from Berlin, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's great that you're in touch and sharing thoughts, and that's great. That's great.
I want to thank Magdalena for sharing that because it was very comforting, and I have a job interview in 2 days, so I'm gonna use these thoughts to put myself in the right mindset. So thank you guys. That was wonderful.
And good luck.
Thank you very much. Now I feel stronger. Yep.
So we're trying to go higher from the point of view of if to scare or not, or to trust or not, or all this. We are saying because they are coming from the same source, they are actually exist and not exist simultaneously at the same time. And this is what we need to break. And the question if we can do it. So
I think the challenge with non-existence is that everything that we've been taught our entire lives has to do with existence. Even God. We pray to God, we're taught to pray to a personal God, so we think of God as existing. When you say think of the light, I feel that is some kind of existence, a different kind of existence than us, but my mind conceives of it as an existence, and you're asking us to think of a non-existence, and that's the hard concept.
no, okay. So this is. I'm not saying not exist. First, when you're saying about to think about God as exists, so that's what it's called Avodah Zarah. This is not the right thing, okay? Because God is not exist. Okay.
Well, we're taught to if you speak to God in prayer, then the feeling is that there's an existence of some sort.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That you're right. There's a big problem there. What do you mean when you say God wants? All the mitzvot is a problem. Because what do you mean God wants? God wants you to make this, do this. Right. That's what I explained. That's what I explained before in one of the classes, that there is the Yud Ke Vav Ke. Remember?
Right.
There is the Atzmut. Doesn't want to make it. I don't know. Doesn't want to write. There is the Atzmut. There is the light around, and there is the Tzimtzum. Right, which is big problem, and we say all around it from the start of the Sferot, we talk about it, there is the Yud Ke Vav Ke, right?
Right.
So when we say this is the God, that's what you see in the Bible, and he has many names. Have you been in this course? We start to talk about a little bit about the names of God in the Sferot. We start with Malchut, that's Adonai, and we talk about Yud Ke Vav Ke also in Tiferet, and we said there is a Yeh in the Keter, and there are other names in the Elokim in the left side. And remember other names in Yud Ke Vav Ke in the Sferot.
Right.
That's what when they pray, they are praying to the Yud Ke Vav Ke.
Right.
Okay. And we are saying we are going above it. Right? And we call it Atzmuto. Which we said, it is what it is, but probably because it exists and not exist, so that's something, because it is what it is. What is it? In one hand it's nothing. It's not exist, because we said is yesh mi'ayin, from something, from nothing he creates something. So if it from nothing creates something, so the question is, what is it, the nothing? And so we need to ask ourselves, what is it nothing? So we cannot really understand what is it nothing, but we can feel it when I don't have something in front of me, when for example, so we can feel what is it nothing. But to put them together, that's impossible. But I'm saying we can say it and see what happens. So everyone comes from something, everyone has something during the week. I mean, all of you start to think about it during the week, and everyone does it in a different way and in a different time, and but all of you are reporting that something happened. And most of you are reporting it's not only something happened, it's also good things happen, at least positive. So there is something there. There is something. So if we understand it better, so it's not enough. We need to understand. We need to, you know, it's not easy to, as I'm telling you from the beginning, it's not easy to understand. So first you need to feel that it's an option. It's a something. It's an option. It could happen. Yeah. So that's what they call belief. That could happen. Although it's impossible, it could happen. You need to believe it can happen, because as an option, it exists. We can put exist and not exist. We can understand. We can do it. So how to do it? We're going to develop it also together to see how to do it. And and I understand it's hard, but it's not something like we need now to go to the. It's not hard that we need to go to the mountain and walk so hard in a mountain. No, all we need to say it exists and not exist. It's not like something. It's not a big job to just to go and say exist and not exist, and to come to listen one in a week to talk about it to see what happened. It's not so big job, right? It's not so. I think what is it? People do it. People live like this. People do it like this. This is their life. That's what they're trying to. That's what people are trying to do. So it's not so simple. Also, to people need to be ready. It's not so simple. So all this. Now and we understand it's kind of help. I had other interesting stories. Someone even called me, and with some things happen around with this. So let's try to understand that better. So there is something that you don't understand. So you need more qualified. Speak more to clarify it better.
I thought that your comment about Avodah Zarah was very interesting. It makes me wonder whether many of us are engaged in Avodah Zarah without realizing it.
You're talking about Avodah Zarah? That you are saying that when we are praying to existence. That's what you were saying?
Yeah, that was an interesting comment that you made.
Let's think about it together. Do everyone understand what Shannon said?
Partially.
Shannon, do you want to explain to him again? Or I'm going to explain. Okay, Shannon said like this. Shannon said, all the tefillot, all the prayer that we are praying. So I believe everyone, when he prays, he said you are praying to something. Something that exists. For example, if it's why we have two Pascals?
Exist or not exist?
Not exist.
Joseph, Pascal, what's going on there?
I think he's switching from the phone to the computer.
Yeah, I'm trying to mute him again. If it's connected from the iPhone, so there's no mute option. Anyhow, so everyone understand what Shannon said, that everyone when he prays, continue. Pascal, you continue to. Okay, now you're quiet.
Excuse me, I wanted to look to watch if my phone is working. For Wednesday.
Okay. It's working very good. Everyone can approve it.
I'm very sorry.
No, don't worry. It's okay. For us, it exists and not exists. So don't worry about it. So listen what Shana said. Shana said that all the prayer, usually people are praying, that they are praying to something, some God, which is, in her point of view, its existence. That's what she's saying and what she's thinking. So I said to her, if they are praying to the something is existing, God is exist, so actually it's Avodah Zarah. Avodah Zarah, it means that you don't really pray to the right God. So I think Shannon said it's very interesting what you said, but I'm not sure if she said it means that she's like are you what is your feeling about this?
Well, I think when we're taught to pray, we're taught to pray to a personal God, and that a personal God that intervenes in history, etc., has a feeling of existence to it. And we spoke in, I believe, one of the classes, the first or the second class, I asked the question about when we pray, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam, which name we were praying to, and you said that that was the Yud Kei Vav Kei of Tiferet.
Right.
And then we always qualify Elokeinu, so we're saying, okay, we're saying this is the same. The Yud Kei Vav Kei of Tiferet is the same as the Elokeinu, which we think of as the God and the Creator. That's the one that's behind the creation. So, and that's in our main tenet of the Shema too.
Right.
But if we are indeed praying to one of the names of Hashem, then that would be, by your definition, it would be Avodah Zarah, idol worship. So I'm wondering whether a lot of people, a lot of Jews, are actually performing Avodah Zarah without realizing it. How do we ensure that our minds are thinking high enough?
Right, and of course, you are getting right to the point, and I invited you to, and I will send you the Likutei Moharan. That's exactly what he's talking about there. That's exactly the dilemma. That's why it's a secret.
Okay, very, very interesting.
Right, but you know, and at least they said about Rabbi Nachman, they say about him that at least he was not a liar. You know, he said the truth a little here and there. You know, so you know he's talking about it, and I'm taking specifically. He says in many other places, but this is the heart of it. So you're right. You're right, and I'm sorry or not sorry because there's no relevance, sorry or not. But that's the truth. That's the truth. Because because they're telling you in one hand, the God you cannot imagine him, you cannot. You can't. As we say, that's Futo. You cannot say anything. You need to be. You can't. Every time you say something, you can't. So in any event, it takes us to the point that this option, which is probably it's an option. This is what it is. This is God. If you can make it together, it's something interesting. It's interesting to live a life in these feelings. This is that's what they call, that's the light. That's what they want you to achieve. That's the Messiah, what they're talking about. Even here he said that he called it Atid Lavo. It means we're talking about the Messiah. Okay, so I don't know if you hear this concept before, but this is the concept. Okay, from here you have other lower options like unconditional love, to accept and not and to receive, to be able to give, about the ego. So this is all lower level of this, because we cannot do it, so we are going to try an unconditional love and other things. Or mitzvot even. Mitzvot, it's things to do. So it's more easy to understand, but that's the thought, that's the exist and not exist. Yesh ve'en. So Shannon, what was your question actually?
Well, I don't think I had a specific question, but it does bother me that we use the same Yud Kei Vav Kei for the existential, whatever we want to call it, surrounding this. And we also
You're right. But Shannon, you need to understand, for example, they're telling you don't say the name of God, right?
Right.
So you don't really say the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, when you are praying, right?
Right, which makes it even more confusing sometimes to focus on who you're praying to.
Yeah, of course. There is a book of kavanot. You can read it about exactly how to make a kavanah when you are praying in every specific sentence, and exactly there are books can give you exactly details. Okay, about the kavanot, about the intention when you're praying. Okay, if this is something that you are interested in. Okay, there is. If you are praying and you don't feel like you are connecting, but when you are saying connecting, you need to understand connecting to what. So that's what I'm telling you. That's the connect. Connect to the exist and not exist simultaneously.
Okay.
Because that's probably it's the end, the yesh together. So in one hand, it's not nothing and it's not something. It's something together. That's what you need to when you are. That's your intention.
Okay, so when we say the Shema, which Yud Kei Vav Kei are we referring to there?
When we say when?
The Shema.
Shema Yisrael. It's hard to hear you.
No, I understand. I don't know where it's came from, but it's the Yud Kei Vav Kei, so it's or from the Sferot or from Tiferet. But why it's matter for you where it came from?
Because it's confusing that we have it in Tiferet and then we also have it in its kind of prototypical sense.
Excuse me, because we have it in Tiferet and what?
And then the larger version.
You mean in the Ein Sof, in the infinity?
Yes.
That's what you mean. That's Duto.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So what do you mean? It's that's what we saw from the book of Yosef Gelatilia. Remember?
Not sure.
We saw in Gelatilia. That's what he said. According to the book, he's saying Tiferet is Yud Kei Vav Kei, and also it's all around. It's the Olam Ein Sof. So that's why I also want to show you that, because when you talk about it, there is a difference between Yud Kei Vav Kei and Tiferet and Yud Kei Vav Kei around.
Right.
So
why have both? That's my question. Why couldn't there be a different name in Tiferet?
I don't know. That's what they said. It's not something. This is not our discussion here. About the name?
Maybe it is. Now that I thought about it, maybe it's there to give us the Yesh Ve'ein at the same time.
Okay. So first about Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. It doesn't say Yud Kei Vav Kei. It says Yud.
Yeah, but isn't the Yud an abbreviation for Yud Kei Vav Kei?
That's what I was taught.
It has the same vowels, doesn't it?
This is Yud Hey. I think Yud Hey Gelatilia says there. But what? Okay, it doesn't much matter. But the point is, even if they are going higher here, they are talking about Hashem Echad. It's probably talking about the Ein Sof, because it says Hashem. Okay, we can talk about Shema Yisrael, but again, this is not the. This is not the point.
Well, maybe because we're talking about existing and non-existing simultaneously, maybe that's why there's actually a Yud Kei Vav Kei and Tiferet and the surrounding Ein Sof, because Hashem exists and doesn't exist also simultaneously, in the sense that Hashem exists when He's revealing a part of Himself to us.
I'm thinking about a different option. I'm talking about that's. Thank you for letting me to keep going with this. So to show that actually the not exist, it's another way to look at it. Okay, it's not, but I want to show you how it actually works, because we said the not exist it's part of the existence, right? Because there is the light and the vessel. But we are also, as a human being, we are also we are the vessels, right, as a body, and we have a soul. So things like the soul is the light, is the nothing. But where is it together in our body? So we became a human being. Otherwise, it's just a body and a soul, right? It's two different things. I don't know how to with as a soul, but the soul is coming from up above our world. So the question is, we can see that, or maybe feel it, how we are both. We are, as a human being, we are like together, like exist and not exist. Because the not exist, we can think about the soul, although the soul is also exist. But even just to think about it, there are things in the world, like we can feel it, like the light and the vessel are together. It's as one, right? It's something. There is something happen new. So to just I'm trying to give some example that the option that it could happen, exist and not exist at the same time. So it's something to look at it, but I'm not sure if it's even make the point. So I don't know. It's a question about your questions about it.
It's a good example, pretty good example that you gave. Thank you.
David, what do you think? David?
Sorry, my microphone was muted. In particular, about what?
I don't know. Just what are your thoughts in general? Share with us your thoughts. We'd like you to hear your thoughts.
I'm just listening right now.
So any questions, someone? Want to more explanation about it?
Well, I think if we're going to understand anything, we have to understand its opposite. So, if we want to know what the feeling of happiness is, you can't know happiness unless you've experienced a non-happiness.
Right. Also, when you say happiness, you're always thinking about not the happy, because in your mind you're also seeing the other things.
Right. So perhaps if we need to think about non-existence, we need to define existence a little better, so that maybe if we really understand existence, we can understand non-existence. Just a thought. I'm not sure.
I got you. So that's what I say. Usually existing, if you don't have place and time, you are not exist. Because every existing must have a place and time.
Well, although the angels don't have a place and time.
Of course they have.
They do?
Of course, they exist. They are something.
But they're not bound by time like we are.
Right. Yeah. your thought exist.
In Ezekiel's vision, doesn't he describe, you know, these sort of various where these angels are in relation to each other, like the Ophanim or below the Seraphim and stuff like that?
Right, but he doesn't talk about if they exist or not. They are, of course, exist. If you talk about it, they exist. If they say it, they exist. They exist.
I was just responding to Shana. I mean, you could argue that it was taken in a metaphorical sense, but he does talk about the angels spatially. I don't know.
It's not so clear when they are talking about only about the pure light, or they are talking when they are the light with the existing are together. So it's two different options.
Well, let me ask you a question. So how does all this? So you just started talking about light again. So how does all this, the existing and the not existing, just remind us how this all relates to the light?
We're trying to understand what is the light.
Okay.
Right? Remember, we talk about the light. What is it, the light? We say the light is above. It's the Ein Sof. It's the Ein Sof. There is a light, a lot of light, right?
Right.
So we're trying to understand what is it, this light.
Well, is it the source of the light? That's what we're trying to understand, right? Is the source of the light? Because the light comes down to the lower world as well, right? I mean, we receive some of the light here, correct?
Right, but what is not the light that we are thinking about, the light from the sun? When you say light.
No, I mean the spiritual light. We receive some of the spiritual light, right?
Right, and we are trying to understand what is it and where they came from, right?
Right.
So we are saying this light, we don't know if whatever you're going to say, you cannot.
What is the actual word that's usually used in Kabbalah to refer to this light? Is this the same? Because I've heard sometimes when they talk about God's emanation, I've heard it translated as divine plenty. I forget what the word is actually.
They use the word or. That's what you mean, or?
Well, no, I know or is light, but I mean that's literally light. I mean, I've heard a different word used, or maybe words used to talk about, you know, the spiritual sustenance that God brings to the lower worlds. Well, never mind. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. But I guess my question was, we're trying to understand about the source of the light, correct?
Right. Trying to understand what is it now. Now this is in the spiritual point of view the light, but in the practice light, it's mean understanding. Okay? If you understand something, as we talk about it, then you say, oh, I got the light. So for example, there is something, if you can understand exist and not exist, this is the light. It's understanding something new.
Right.
Now, although as we said, it's very hard, but that's what they see that is that's the only option. Otherwise, we're going to keep to live like this. He call it apikoros. Okay. There are two apikoros. There are some people coming from the side of the exist, and there are people coming from the side that are not exist. But the truth they must understand it's together. So that's what we are doing here. I think we should, what do you think? You want to try to do the homework again? Should I repeat, or do you know what to do if you don't have questions?
Well, what comes after this?
I have another question too.
Please.
Please, can you tell me what was the wrong about this day today? Was it maybe because I thought that it exists, what it happened, or without it doesn't exist? Is it that what was wrong, or what was it?
What was the situation? What happened?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I came to the point where I thought that it exists. So I didn't get I didn't do anything for the other option, you know. This was it like, and yes, I was frustrated about it because yeah, because some meeting doesn't really didn't really work. You told us at the beginning you will come to the end and say a little bit about it. What we can do.
Everyone understand what Pascal said?
I didn't understand.
You didn't. Do you want to explain to Magdalena again?
Yes, of course. Something went today wrong way, and I was very frustrated about it, and yeah, because yes, because this didn't functionated like the other days last week. And I think I have done something wrong in this way, and I don't know what.
Okay.
Why do you think it's someone want to analyze his situation according to our formula, to trying together what Pascal is supposed to do according to our formula? Everyone understand what's happened to Pascal?
If I understood correctly, he's saying that he was able to successfully apply the exist, non-exist procedure last week and be able to overcome feelings of frustration or annoyance at being late, etc. And it didn't work today. Am I correct in that?
Of course, exactly.
So the question is, did he did anything different or wrong with the homework? Or is it just that sometimes we reach it and sometimes we don't?
Or it's a bullshit.
Okay.
Right. It's not simple. It's or it's a bullshit or it's a something. We will see. But someone want to help to Pascal what he's supposed to do actually. I mean, let's analyze his case according to our formula and see if there is something that Pascal can do. What do you think?
I guess try harder.
Harder what?
Or like not give up on the formula.
Why not?
Because sometimes, you know, it comes easy because maybe the being late, maybe he was frustrated or whatever, but it was not as strong as this would happen today. Maybe this thing that happened today was like deeper in him. So
yeah, but according to our formula, how you easily can analyze it?
So you can easily analyze it that it did not exist at the same time.
What not exist? Case exists at the same time?
That maybe the previous one did not exist. So this one could not exist. I don't know.
Right. It's not so simple. So you say, Pascal, it's not so simple. right?
Yes, I thought at this time that it really exists. I was frustrated about it, and maybe this was the problem. I don't know.
I told you you are thinking only about exist or not exist. But I'm telling you, it's not about exist or this or this. It's about both of them together.
I was not so sure today like the other day. So
no, but you chose the not exist. You shouldn't. You're just supposed to say to yourself, exist and not exist. We are just working on this. You must supposed to do your life as you are doing because it's the same time exist. All I'm asking to say it, exist, not exist, do it. Do what you need to do. Just say it exists and not exist. You say you're frustrated or whatever you feel or whatever you need to do. Just go do it, but say it exists and not exist.
I don't understand.
You can't choose only one option. You have a life. I'm saying from the beginning it's impossible. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do not to understand what is it? You cannot. You cannot. So what we can do is to at least to say it. Not to choose what to do. Yes or no. Just say it. Say it in your heart. Say it faster. Exists nothing. Yeshen, 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 yeshen. To understand, it's come from the same source. You do what you need to do. You need to go to the school. You go to school. What do you think? The school does not exist? No one says it not exist. What do you think? People, what? They are waiting for you. What? They're not. What do you think? I didn't say it's not exist. We are saying it exists and not exist at the same time and same place.
No, the problem was I couldn't make all the people happy today because there were so much meetings and so much things, and the last one was not so good. So.
But say to yourself in your head, keep doing what are you doing, and say to yourself, exist and not exist, exist and not exist to yourself. Yeah. You're allowed to. No one telling you not to say to your head things. You're allowed, right? No one can take it from you, right? You're allowed to say whatever you want in your head.
Right.
Can I ask a question? You were suggesting him to say exist and not exist. Are you referring to the situation? What are you referring to when you say exist and not exist?
So in general, I refer to everything. Everything, if it depends about your attention to it and how much do you want to get into it. So of course you can even now you can say exist, not exist. What are you talking to me right now? You can go. You are every day in this. You every second you can see that and you can understand that it exists and not exist. It's only one option that it exists. Now I'm talking to you. It's only one option. So. It's so if I'm answering to you, so it's to everything. And maybe you understand? I answered you.
This was Diana who asked the question. I feel like I'm still in the dark place in terms of understanding exactly the concept and applying it to situations. So
right, yeah, so we are it's all they apply is just to say exist, not exist to every situation. Just they apply. We are saying it's impossible. It's impossible to understand that. It's impossible to achieve it. It's impossible. We understand that. I'm telling you. I'm saying again and again, and I'm showing you things that, and you can, and you feel it. You know, you can understand the world, what is exist and not exist, but really to feel it, to understand that, to live a life accordingly, it's impossible. Our brain is not ready for this.
So is this more as a question that you're asking to yourself? Does this exist or it does not exist? Or is it more of a confirmation as that you're saying?
It's a saying. You say. It's a saying. You say to yourself, it exists or not exists. I don't know what. You're not asking yourself. It's not a question. You understand whatever you see, it's actually one option. There are other options. So that's why it exists and not exists, as we explained. Because there is enough. If you have one option of something, and you have the opposite option of it, for example, if, for example, Pascal was pastorated, and this is only one option of living. Now, if I had to analyze Pascal, I will ask him, if you see another option, he will say, yes, there is also an option that's not to be pastorated, probably is going to say at some point, because there are other options. So we are saying if there are at least two options, there is something above them, which is the one. They are coming from the same source, the fears and not fears. It's one, they are the same thing, so there are no difference between them. Because if they are one now, they are not exist. At the same time, they are exist, because now we can understand, we know they are exist, it's one of our understanding, we can see, it's understand. So the question, if we can take the other option of not exist and to put them together. So that's why we are understanding. That's why we are saying exist and not exist. We understand it's another option. But what we see now, it's actually only one option. They exist. So, but at least we can say, I'm with you. I agree that we cannot. It's impossible. But at least we can say it. No one tell us not to say it. Yes, about everything, and see what happens. I'm not saying you. And again, Pascal, don't choose one side. Not exist, not exist, not exist. You choose the not exist. You said, like everything not exist. Now you can sit at home, do nothing, and it's not exist.
No.
Right? It's different. It exists and not exist. It exists, but it's not exist at the same time. But I'm not saying what to do. I'm just saying only one thing to do. It's just to say exist and not exist. The other things, your life, you live a life. You know what happened, happened. But say to yourself, exist and not exist in your head.
Yes, really, I didn't thought that. This was maybe the problem. I didn't thought that. I only thought that it exists. So maybe this was the problem.
Right. So it's because it's not easy to understand that. So that's why we need to talk about it more and more. So,
and sometimes there are situations in your life they are more triggering you more than others. So maybe this was the problem, the situation.
Mm-hmm. I just had a good idea. At least I think it's a good idea. I just took a little card and I wrote Yesh Ve'ein on it, and I'm going to put it in my wallet. And I thought years ago when I was first learning Hebrew, I wrote Hebrew words and taped them all over the house, you know. Sopa and you know, kisei and things like that. So I might even just do that, write a few of these Yesh Ve'ein cards and leave them around in places like one on my desk as a reminder.
Wow, that's going to be huge for you. This is a jump for to feel to do something. Wow, this is like that's something. That's something. But remember, it's not yesh ve'ein, simultaneously. To understand that it's simultaneously, meaning your car, it exists and not exists simultaneously.
Right.
So it's, you know, so wow, that's a jump. David, what are we going to do and what we're going to do from there. I understand from the last time, I hope you hear me, the last time that last week, you ask again about the name of God and this from the Sefer Joseph Gelatilia, and you ask about if the book teach how to connect to these names of God, right?
I'm sorry. When did I ask this?
You asked last week about the connection or how to connect to the name of God.
Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, I guess that'd be. I mean, that would be a good thing to know.
Yeah. My question to you is, why do you want to connect with the names of God?
To get closer to God.
Okay, so if you want to be closer to God, the names of God or other, after you will see what we talk about, 72 or something, but first you need to understand what is it, God.
A person needs to understand what is God, is that what you said?
Yeah, before we connect, you say you want to connect to God, right?
Well, this is how you understand God, by connecting to Him. Nobody will ever fully understand God. He's ineffable, but we can understand parts of God maybe by connecting with some of His names.
Right, but okay, but when you take the rules of unconditional love, right? If you apply it, or if you do the mitzvot, right? Mitzvot.
Right, I understand. We're connecting with Chesed, yes.
Right, so you are feeling God, right?
Sure.
Okay, so that's the same thing. If it's a mitzvot, it's the same. It's a rule.
Right,
it's a rule.
I understand, but from what I mean, I could be wrong, but I sort of I thought that maybe I haven't really read that far yet in the Gates of Light, but from what I'd read about it, I thought that there were some secrets in there for using the names to connect with, to bind oneself to the Sefirot in a meditation. So, I mean, and maybe this would help one to go and, let's say, meditate on Chesed by using the associated name, then maybe it would help you for the rest of the day to manifest Chesed in your daily life. I don't know. I've never done it.
Right. So there are people that they do it, like they use in the 72, whatever they use it and whatever, which is some of them say it's like like we are trying, but I'm trying to connect you with this, the exist and not exist simultaneously, and that's the line. So,
my issue with it, and I mean I've been doing it, but I mean honestly, it feels like exercises in philosophy that I did years ago in college. I mean it just doesn't. I sort of don't really feel like it's an essentially Jewish thing. I've not got nothing wrong with doing it, but it's just I feel like I've sort of already done. I wrote college papers on existing and not existing simultaneously, and it does feel a little intellectual. To be honest, I mean, I can sort of do it, but at the same, I'm just sort of, I'm just really not really clear on where this is going to get us, I guess.
Right. Neither do I. I'm saying no one knows. They know about that formula about this, exist and not exist, but that's how it works. They tell you a formula and telling you live a life accordingly. So it's not.
And you were kind of saying, didn't I hear you say a couple times that it's actually impossible to comprehend this, or this exist and not exist simultaneously? Did you say it was actually impossible?
No, I'm saying it's for not. I cannot. I mean, to do exist and not exist simultaneously. To think of. I can't. I mean, there is, you can, it's as I say, it's impossible, but what you can do, at least you can say it and see what happens. That's what I mean.
Okay.
David, I think the difference between what Shai is saying and what you were just describing is that he's not, and I may be wrong, but he's not asking us to think about the difference between existing and non-existing. He's asking us to hold both of those seemingly contradictory ideas as one.
Okay, to what end?
To the ultimate connection. Because through that, I think that our goal is that then we can break through our superficial, Malchut-oriented self. I mean, obviously, I haven't gotten to the end, so I don't know the end. but I do think when I'm hearing you speak, I'm hearing. That's why I was thinking that maybe it's good to get a definition of existence, because I think your definition of existence and my definition of existence are not the same.
Right. I emailed or I messaged Sean Shah this week, and I was sort of asking him, well, you know, what angle do you want me to approach this from? I gave him a few examples of how I was approaching it, and he seemed to write back and say, yeah, that works. So I don't think it sounded from what I asked him this earlier tonight in the class, and it seemed like he said, you know, that there wasn't a particular angle we were supposed to approach this from, that as long as you're thinking about existing and not existing simultaneously, that you know, that's fine. Is that right, Shah?
I'm not sure. I think I'm not sure if both of you talking the same things.
Shana was saying that it'd be helpful for us to get a definition of what you mean by existing, because Shana thinks that she's thinking of existing a different way than I am. But I was saying that I was speaking to you earlier, and it seemed like any kind of existing will work.
Right. Existing in general. What the definition do we need for exist? Existence exists. I'm saying the most definition I can say is to every exist need to have place and time. Without this, there is no exist. So
yes, and when you say that, you start to lose me, because one of the examples that I gave you of something existing and not existing simultaneously is that of an idea which does not have space and time.
No, yes, but I told you yes, they have a place and time, because it's a something, it's a creation, and if it's a something, it's somewhere it has a place and time, even if it's an option.
I'm not sure I follow. I mean, like I said, a perfect circle is found nowhere in space. It's found nowhere in time. And I could use an even more ridiculous example to make this clearer. I mean, I could say, what about a square circle? There's no such thing as a square circle. So, but it's an idea, right? So in a way, it exists. It also doesn't exist, because A, it's an idea, and B, it's a ridiculous idea that can't possibly exist in the real world. So it doesn't have space, and it doesn't have time.
So okay, so here we have what to do next time, to talk about the exist and not exist, and to try to search and feel and to see what is it to make research about what is it exist. So probably we don't understand what is it deeply, what is it exist. So this is a great start. I was thinking to start with the not exist to get into the exist, but if we need first to start with the exist. So okay, we need to think about what is it exist. So let's do it next week or Wednesday if someone wants to join. Also on Wednesday. So yeah, it's important question, David, to understand what is it exist. Also Shana raised this issue, so we need to understand what is it exist. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So do you want to keep doing the? If you want to keep doing the homework to say exist and not exist, or in Hebrew, yesh elayim, try it just to say it. I'm not saying again to change now life. Not to say it exists or not exist. No, it's not exist. So I'm not doing it because it's not exist actually. That's not the point. So we hope something happened by saying it. So, but okay, even if we don't understand what is it exist or not exist, but at least we are saying it, and we will discover more and more where it's what is these things, because this is the things probably. This is the things. That's the thing. That's the thing. Okay, and I give you, which we don't need a citation from others, but our brain can understand this is the thing. This is the thing. Be able to live a life which the things are exist and not exist in the same time and place. That's a unique. That's something that's it's a something. It's really cool. It's really cool. So at least we enjoy from this moment to saying, just to say, exist and not exist. Okay, the thing's not going to be. You're not going to be a Superman tomorrow. Or something happened to you. I don't know what your expectation from this, but you know, just have fun with it. There's nothing to lose. And anyway, it's fun. You know, someone make you angry, you say exist and not existing to your head, it's better than to fight with him, for example, you know?
Sharp. Now I feel like Superman.
So exist and not exist. Be careful, you are not. Don't jump now, start to fly.
Okay.
Okay? It's just say to yourself, don't choose a space, or exist or not. Whatever the brain gives you, because the brain can make you crazy. That's the problem with the two no end options. There's no end options. So that's why the brain, it can, in a second, you don't even feel it. You don't even think about it. You don't have a second. They are controlling you in a second. Unbelievable. You don't even feel it. And you are doing whatever you are doing. So it's unbelievable what's going on here. But if you say to your brain, it exists, not exist, exist, not exist, not exist, not, and even faster, trying to make it at the same time, so probably something happened. Probably something happened in the brain. Something happened. Because now it exists, not exist. You need to understand that. So I'm not saying you're going to be, again, Superman. Now you start to break all the wall and jump from windows, and that's not the point. Okay? But what other options that we have? They're going to sell us another option about the Sferot. Do you want to learn about the Sferot? You want to learn about Keter, Chochmah, and Aleph Bet, and all the things, or you want to talk about the ego? What is it? Ego, not to be ego, how to ego, and why is ego is good and why ego is no good? You want to talk about it? You can go and talk about it. There is other school. There is a Kabbalah center. They teach it. They're talking about it all day, years. They're talking about it. Go hear from them. Go study from them. That's what they are teaching about the unconditional love. Wow. Let me tell you how to live a life without conditional love. Okay, because God is unconditional love, and He loves you like everyone, and blah blah blah, and la la la. So therefore, He doesn't have the conditions. So He loves you. So you need to love Him and to behave like Him because He has this character. So you need to have this character too. Wow. Right. Okay. That you can go to Kabbalah Center. They sell it also Berg and all the Ashlag, Sulam. Okay, but we are saying Now we don't want to talk about all the sferot and all the name of the inside, the whatever they think about it, matat, no matat, whatever they are. This is all things can help us to get to the exist and not exist. Because what is it on the sferot? The sferot they are saying about if someone has a problem, someone because he cannot understand for example, to do the mitzvah, so we can. There's something in the sferot, he has problem. Let's help you. We give him a name here, a name there, and we make him Superman to do the mitzvah. Okay, great. But are we doing? Do we want to do the mitzvah? Okay, we can learn about the mitzvot. What is it, the mitzvot, and what is the great in the mitzvot, and why the mitzvot is great, and how we can get the light from doing the mitzvot. Great. But I'm saying, let's go and do the exist, not exist simultaneously. That's what I'm saying. That's, I know it's impossible. They say it's impossible. I know it's impossible. I feel it's impossible. But I say we can say it.
I have a funny story from the homework if you want me to tell it.
Please.
Yes.
So I was swimming in the ocean, and I was decided to use yesh ve'ayin because it's easier to say than exist and not exist. It comes out of the mouth a little easier. So I was swimming backstroke, going yesh ve'ayin, yesh ve'ayin, yesh ve'ayin, yesh ve'ayin, yesh ve'ayin. A big wave came, smashed me in the face, drank a bunch of water, and I said yesh.
Okay, having fun with this is great. Great. So okay, so any other question? I think I feel David is not it's too much for you, right, David?
No, it's not too much. I'm just wondering where it's going to get us. I mean, like I can think of lots of examples of existing and not existing simultaneously, and yeah, I can sit and meditate on it. I just don't know how this is going to get me closer to God. Like this is kind of interesting. I just thought of this. So, does everybody here know what a quantum is? Right, and it's a fundamental unit of a measurement. Right, so there's quanta of energy. Right, so you can't. There's no energy that's smaller than a certain amount, a quantum. And so there's, this is sort of the backbone of quantum physics, that the universe is actually composed of discrete units, right? So there's actually something called a Planck length, so which is rather a Planck time unit. So there's a unit of time that's the smallest that time can be. Okay, it's a very, very, it's like a billion times shorter than a second, but you can't get smaller than that amount of time. So if that's true, then the universe has a measurable frame rate, right? So just like when you watch a movie, it's like, what, 24 frames per second or something like that? So when you're watching that movie, there's a lot of time which your eyes, they're gazing at blankness. There's nothing there, but you don't notice it because your eyes can't see that fast. So you're watching the movie and then you're not watching the movie. You're watching the movie and then you're not watching the movie, 24 frames per second. Right. So that's actually true with the universe too. The universe is existing and not existing many times per second. In fact, billions of times per second, because there's actually a fundamental unit of time.
But that's still existence.
Well, it's existing when it's existing, and then it's not existing. But, I mean, it's happening so fast that for us, during the course of a second, if the universe stops existing and starts re-existing a billion times, for us it might as well be simultaneously.
But David, it's only not existing from your perspective, from our perspective. It's actually still existing.
Well, I don't know. I don't know enough about the physics, but if there's a fundamental unit of time, then what happens in between those time intervals? Nothing, right?
But Shannon, think for example, I think I understand a little bit, David, and correct me if I'm wrong, David. But Shannon, there is a difference if you say exist and not exist, like this. I mean, in lower time, in 5, let's say, in a minute, exist, not, or you do it faster, exist, not exist, exist faster, like David say in the machine, they say it faster. Right, David? when you're watching, it's faster. It gets faster and faster.
Right.
Right? Exist and not exist. And the option to say exist, not exist, or yes, and to say yes and yes and yes is faster. It's a different. So I think David talking about to say the things faster. Because we said that, for example, when you watch TV, your eye, you're blinking. So you're right. Also, it's not really not exist, but it's close. It starts to get close to something, to some ideas.
We're not going to be able to conceive. We're not actually going to be able to literally conceive of existing and not existing simultaneously. All we can do
Exactly. You got it. Right.
Can you write the second one, please?
That's the point, that we can't conceive of it. If we can conceive of it, then it exists.
But David, the question is, even if you know, although you know that's impossible, the question if you want to, or do you think you should, it's worth, or you want to achieve it, to reach it? Do you want it? Do you want to have this option, or you say, listen, it's impossible. I'm not in. I'm not. This is what it is. I leave it alone.
I mean, it's perfectly possible to. I mean, I could sit and I could meditate on this all day. I'm just kind of wondering where it's going to get me.
I don't know. There is no. It's not the insurance company. It's you know, it's a study. If it's something you are interested in, you have a desire.
Have you done this, and what did you experience when you did this?
As I'm saying, I'm trying. I don't get Superman, as I said. I'm saying I'm just saying it, and it's the everyone accepts it differently. For example, Shannon, she having more dreams about it. Genevieve, if she want to share with us, I think something happened also to Genevieve and to Pascal also. Things happen about it, but this is only by saying exist and not exist. So I'm not saying. I'm not saying that it's impossible, as you said, but we absolutely can say that.
Pardon? What?
We can say this word. It's not. We cannot say this word exist and not exist. No, it's not. It's not something. No one stop us to say that. You know, if you are accepting this formula, you think it's interesting to try it, even if you know that. Because what are you saying? You're saying in one hand, it sounds like interested, and I want to somehow to be in the option to see or to feel alive, exist and not exist at the same time. You say that you want, but you know it's impossible, right? So that's what stops you.
No, it's not. No, that's not what's stopping me. I believe that you can induce a lot of mystical states through a lot of different meditations, and I'm just wondering what's so special about this one. You know, and I mean, because we're spending quite a lot of time on it, and it's just, you know, what's so special about this one that we're spending so much time on it? And I'm just wondering, you know, what your experiences are, because obviously you have a reason for suggesting this. So I'm just wondering, you know, did you have a really powerful experience when you did this? That you think that we should all try this?
No, but I'm saying that's. I know this is the formula they are talking about. I don't have a particular experience. Like I'm just feeling like you know, I'm saying to myself, it's exist and not exist. When I'm talking to you, when I'm walking on the street, when I'm doing my life, I'm saying it's exist and not exist. I don't let the things bother me. When I feel things, I say it exist and not exist. Although and somehow the bad feelings are kind of disappear.
Well,
somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, I've had the same.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know how and why, but probably it's because I'm saying it exists and not exist. It doesn't mean I'm not doing my life. You do your life accordingly, but there are always things are jumping in the head, and then when you're saying exist, not exist, so something happened to you to this bad feelings.
Yeah, I've had the same experience before, but I wasn't necessarily thinking exist and not exist. What you know, sometimes one thing I do when I'm really stressed out or I'm really down is I say, you know what, none of this really matters, right? Because you know, I mean, my life is just insignificant compared with the span of human history, compared with the span of the Earth's history, compared with the span of the universe's history, and really nothing I do is really of any consequence anyway. So, but that also means that all the bad things that happen in my life, it's not really a tragedy, you know, if I don't get the job, if I don't graduate from school, or whatever. I mean, nothing really matters all that much in the grand scheme of things. So, you know, and on another level, you know, none of this is really real either, right? Because it's just all the bad feelings I have are just perceptions. I can change those perceptions. So, how real could those perceptions really be? So, I mean, I more think about things sort of how unreal everything is, and that sort of helps calm me. And of course, I know that on some level that everything's real too, right? Because I'm experiencing it. So no, I mean, I understand what you're saying. I've had very, very similar experiences, thinking just about non-existence, really. But I don't know. I mean, it's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's cool. I'm just kind of curious to see how this relates to Kabbalah. That's all.
Yeah, but what do you? Even if it's not come from the Kabbalah, what do you care? It's come from. It's come from your head. The question, if you understand and you feel it, and you think is what do you care if it's come from the Kabbalah or from book of this or from me or from doesn't matter. The question now you have this you heard something. The question is if you can analyze it, think about it, and say what you say, like you said now. But if it's come from the Kabbalah or not, it doesn't matter.
Well, no, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I just thought we were learning Kabbalah, that's all.
It is Kabbalah. That's it's, as I said to you, it's come from the Kabbalah, but they don't talk about it or write down about it. I'm trying to think to give some clue here and there, but as I showed you, I'm going again to Likutei Moharan, and this is the.
There's a whole lot more to Kabbalah than theoretical Kabbalah.
No, I'm aware. But to be honest with you, aside from the practical exercise that the homework that we're doing, I mean that's somewhat practical. But when we're sitting here and we're talking for 2 hours, it seems awfully theoretical to me. And to be honest with you, I'd like for it to be a little bit more practical.
Yeah, but we are open for option. When you say practical, what do you mean? Tell us what you feel is missing. Well, maybe we can think together about something.
I don't know. I guess I would. That's the first time you straight up asked me how can we make this more practical. I'll think about it.
That's good. So I was thinking practical to say, at least to say that it's a beginning.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking as a start. It's something to do, but we need to bring to the table ideas what to do.
Yeah, but I think that this what we have as a homework. This is if we would just only practice this, all the time. This would be, I think, enough. I don't know if David did this like every day, every single day, the meditation before going to. I mean, we call it meditation, but it's not really meditation. We just go to sleep and we start, saying the things that we're supposed to be saying in order to kind of experience something, to connect closer with God, with the Creator. I think this is a huge practice. I mean, every time I'm trying to do this, this is so tiring for the brain, and I don't know, at least for me. And in order to get better and better, I think we have to practice, every single day this, and even if you take a nap in the afternoon, or maybe if you have a half an hour or even 20 minutes to lay down or sit somewhere quietly and try to, imagine those things, answer those questions in our head. This, I mean, what other practice can we do? And I did a little bit of it, and I got some light. I had some experiences, and we have to just keep practicing that.
I don't do it. Just if you are aware about this sentence, if you are aware about it,
I'm talking about what we're supposed to do before going to sleep.
That's something different. This is.
So that's one practice. Then the practice about exist and not exist during the day. I mean, that's like a whole day of work.
Why? But think about it. If what happened to you doing? What happened to do? No, of course. Listen, but what happened to you? What happened to you during the day? You have a thought, right? During the day, you have thoughts. For example, you need to go to work, or you need to do something at work, right? You have things that bother you, right? You have a lot of thought in your head, right? So if you have this thought, what are you doing? You are thinking to think. You start to think about it, or you. So I'm saying this is the time. It's what it's called the Setra Achra. That's the other side. So you need to say it exists and not exist, because now you understand that. So what is better? It's one option is to say it's to stay with where you are with your thoughts. Let's say you have a bit bad feelings during the day. That's why you don't have time. Because what do you mean you don't have time? Because your head is busy with other thoughts. That's why you don't have time.
It helps a little bit to stop the thoughts.
Not even to stop, but to say exist, not exist. Otherwise, they are controlling on you. So I'm not saying to you, listen, go pick the other side. It means that let's pick the good thought. For example, you have a thought, someone make you angry. Now you need to deal with this. What I'm going to do? So you have a thought. So I'm not saying to you, listen, think positive. I'm saying, listen, it exists and not exist simultaneously. Just say it. Just say it. Otherwise, the thoughts still controlling on you, and you are staying in the same path. And you want to move path to the other path. You don't want to stay in this path. So it's not kind of too hard work to say. It's just to say it. I don't think it's hard. It's even worth it. It's better than to just to.
No, of course it's worth it. But I was just talking about those things because David said that we need more different kind of practice. So I said that.
Right? Why not? I understand you. Okay. So whatever.
I just said that it's already a lot. Like, what does he want more?
Yeah, but no, you need to understand. If we have other ideas, and if David have other things, we need to try and to say, because we'll say what I'm saying is not enough. And if you have other options and better, you need to say. And then once we start to develop it more and more, there are other techniques, like we didn't start even meditation, and there is the meditation through how the Abulafia used to do it. So there are techniques how to get to the light. So, but first we need to accept the light, because if you don't accept the light, that's the emunah, that's the belief, that's the thing. You want to reach something that it's not even exist.
Yeah.
Not exist. It's something. It's very high. Therefore, you need the emunah. You need the belief that you can do it, because now you cannot do it. You can say it, but you need the belief that you can do it.
My understanding is this is an experiential class, and that Shai is waiting for us all to kind of get there where he wants us to be in order to then move forward and give us more tips and learn more things. But if he would just give it to all of us, it wouldn't be the same as if we earned it ourselves. We have to get in there and we have to figure it out. So for example, I used to teach ESL, English as a Second Language. And there's a difference in language learning between acquiring a language and learning a language. And most people want to learn the language. Acquiring a language is when you hear something in many different ways at different times, and that understanding of the real meaning of the word comes through to you. Learning a language is saying, okay, kise means chair. So I used to have students that would get frustrated. In fact, I had one father of a student that I was teaching, and we went outside to the parking lot, and I was throwing the ball at the student and saying, you know, catch. And the father came to pick the kid up, and he's like, what are you doing out here playing with the ball in the parking lot? I want you to give him lists of words to memorize. And I said, that's not how I'm teaching. So I think that's a little bit what we're talking about here.
Wow, that's a great analogy. That's interesting. Yeah. So that's exactly. It's like to throw the ball, so to feel, so person understand what is it to catch better, and not only to understand it and write it. So that's why, yeah, you need to go there.
I understand what you're saying, Shana. I mean, this is, you know, kind of how some of these sort of Zen teachers, you know, teach you. They give you some kind of koan to meditate on, and then you ask them, well, you know, I don't know. They sort of just leave you to your own devices, and I guess I suppose it'd be helpful if, I mean, I'm not getting the sense from Shah that anything that I'm saying about existence and non-existence is incorrect. So I guess it would be a little bit helpful, you know, if I wasn't where he thinks that I need to be, if he'd tell me, well, you know, sort of but not quite, you know, try again. So as far as I know, I'm not really doing anything wrong. So, you know, I'm not really sure how, you know, when we're supposed to, or when we're going to be at where he thinks we need to be.
I'm not sure, David. I think you said that you're going to give us, for example, some idea about how to practice it better, right?
Well, I didn't say that. You suggested to me that you said, how can we do this more practically? And I said, well, I don't know. I mean, this is the first time you've asked me this. I'll have to think about it. At the same time, you know, it's sort of hard for me to tell you how to do this more practically when I'm not even 100% sure what the exercises that you've already given us are supposed to be accomplishing. Yes, okay, will maybe help us get.
You are looking to accomplish something. You are looking for results. Right?
Well,
you want me to tell you do this and this, you get so and so results. Do this and this, you get this. Do this, do this, you get. I'm saying no. I'm saying listen.
That's generally what practical means. Yeah, practical is results oriented.
No, practical could be also the act, but you don't know the results.
But you do get some results.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, see what the result, and tell us, share with us.
All right.
That's what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. And if there is, you're going to have interesting results. So maybe we can meet again, and then we can talk and try to understand more and more what does that mean. Okay. So let's do like this. Let's keep practice on the or do the homework, the exist and not exist during the day or during the week, and also think about it when you sleep, then go to sleep. And I'm going to publish again the events for the next week. And you know, if you feel that there is something, or during the week even you want to publish, to post and to share. So as you did it until today. So, you know, we continue this these events and this talking and trying to study and trying to understand. And probably maybe if we understand, we're going to bring more people and we understand what's going on here. So, but we need to do it. And if you feel something, you're probably going to come next week. So that's what I feel. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't worth it. It takes too much time. We don't understand what is it. You know, we can't do it. So you know, I can understand that everything is understandable. I don't want you to. If you want to go back to start the Sefirot and all the Sefirot and what is all the Sefirot, we can talk about it too. You know, and about the name of God and all these things, you know. But I'm interested in these things, in this formula. Okay, so that's what I'm interested to try this one. So okay, everyone.
Let's say good night.
Yeah. Let's be in touch during the week. Any question before?
No.
Let me see if Francine has any. Let me see if Sippy has any questions. Sippy, do you have any questions? Hello?
I didn't know she was listening. Hi, Francine.
I don't know if she is listening. Sippy, are you there?
That's David's mother. I knew David when he was a little tiny baby.
David? David?
I'm going to say good night to everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Me too. I'm looking forward.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a good weekend.